and welcome to Embracing the Fight. I am Erica Lamar, your digital creator and host. And if you've been with me since January of 2023, you will know that Embracing the Fight is about normalizing the conversation that surrounds physical and mental health issues and concerns. Because let's face it, nobody wants to talk about the things that truly bother them, whether it's a physical or mental illness. People just like to kind of hold things, close to themselves because only way someone knows something is wrong with you is if you tell them or if you verify what they ask, right? It's not like somebody can walk up to you and say, "Ooh, you have cancer," or you've got HIV, or you're schizophrenic. You can't look at people and tell, exactly what they have going on. However, what I'd like to do is get people to talk about these illnesses and these struggles to help others get through them. Because, healing starts with a sound. So if you speak life or if you talk about the things as though they are so, if you are claiming, healing, if you are um, thinking that all is well, you have to voice those things. You have to say those things out loud. And, you know, me talking about my journey through thyroid cancer has been, healing for me. It's allowed me to speak, my truth and having others come on, embracing the fight to speak their truth. So I'm asking that you take a moment to subscribe if you haven't, share a video podcast if you haven't, click like, comment. That's all I need. I want to get this message out, to the world. I don't want this to be something that, we look back on years down the road and somebody says, oh, that would have been a great, thing to do. That would have helped, heal the world and, all these different things or, but nobody really knew about it. And growth comes when others are willing to share and with work that I put in. So I've been putting in the work. You see all these wonderful videos that are out there. So I ask that you take a moment to share them. Well, with all that being said, today is episode 73. What's that smell? So, it's summertime, it's hot outside, and people have varying levels, of hygiene. And it's, always been interesting to me, like when I'm traveling, especially when I'm going, overseas, all the different, smells that you come in contact with. And I won't, single out a single ethnicity. However, there's one group that I don't care, what time of year, it is. They have a very strong smell of garlic, and it smells like, most people are like, oh, somebody's, extremely, musty. They need to wash under their arms or something like that. But garlic, once it comes out of your pores, that's, the kind of smell that it gives off. But, they're not going to stop eating this garlic and they're not going to stop, burning it, rubbing it on, whatever they're doing with it. They're not going to do that. They're not going to stop because that's part, of their culture. And if you notice, they're some of the most healthy people, in the world. So, kind of do a search today and figure out who really chews and eats the garlic. And like I said, you can smell it, coming off a person. So we're not talking about those people because that is inherent in their culture and that's not something that's going to change. I'm talking about what's that smell when it comes to, say you're in the gym and people are going past you and you're catching all these odors. I hear people say that they don't shower before they go to the gym. They don't they don't even do like a simple wash up and they don't refresh, their deodorant or anything like that. They just go ahead, work out, sweat, and then they have this horrible smell. Well, you know where the smell comes from. It comes from the bacteria, the sweat, the dead, dry skin that's all rolled up. And it comes from the fact that you have not washed or cleansed this area. So let's start with your underarms. Of course, your underarms, your armpits have pores and you have hair there. So if you don't shave under your arms, I'm not, trying to shame you or anything like that, but know that you are going to hold more moisture and you are going to have a greater affinity, the bacteria having a place to hide or a place to stay, under there. And, I shave under my arms because let me tell you a funny story. So I was in elementary school and I remember, you know, I think it was in the fourth grade. And my teacher, she had a very, very strong sense of smell. And we had just gone outside, we little kids, we playing, we having a good time. And she comes in the classroom and she's going around, like sniffing folks. And I'm sitting here going, what in the world is wrong with this lady? She was like, I don't know who or what that is, but And see, there was, I'm gonna be a little crazy right now. There was one person that everybody usually thought it was, but this time, lo and behold, it was me. And she literally grabbed me up out. She's like, you can't stay in here. And she dragged me to the office and called my parents. And my mom actually came up to the school. And, mom was like, she's a little girl, she's in the fourth grade. No, she took a bath, the day before, but we didn't put, any deodorant on her because what little kid needs to wear deodorant? Apparently I did because I smell like, a 50-year-old trucker who hadn't been out of his truck maybe in a week or two. I don't know, but it was horrible for, my teacher. And it was like mortifying for me because I'm a little kid and I'm like, oh, everybody's going to be telling me that I'm a little, a little stinky girl or whatever. So after that, of course, we would take our baths at night and then, take them in the morning. And my mom would make sure that we, put on some type of deodorant or antiperspirant. But when we were younger, she just really used deodorant and not antiperspirant because there are some statistics and facts that say that when you use an antiperspirant, it basically clogs your pores and it holds in the sweat and the things that need the waste and the toxins that need to be released from your body. Now I don't know if it causes cancer or anything like that. I just know that it keeps your body from doing what it should do naturally. Now, deodorant, it just, lets everything come out, but it keeps, the smell down. It keeps you from having a rank odor like I did when I was in fourth grade. So you have different, hormones as you grow up too. So if you think about little kindergartners, first graders, they can run around all day and won't smell like, anything. But once you hit puberty, it's like your body is going through this phase and and you are emitting, all these different smells and all these pheromones. And it's like, what is going on here? And we have to pay attention to that. So let's go back, to our summertime hygiene. It's much different than it is, in the winter. A lot of people will take more than one shower or they'll take more than one bath, during the day to make sure that they keep, their body clean. Now, there are certain areas on your body that offer, more of a smell than other places. Like, the skin on your arms, it's not like you're going to walk into somebody and say, oh, you smell like sweat, you know. But there are some other places, like in your under your arms, your intimate areas, especially, and your feet. So if you know that your feet sweat, especially, like I said, in the summertime, they have foot odor um, blocker that you can, it's like a powder that you can pour into your shoes. And I always hear people say, people with sweaty feet have really soft feet. And my feet aren't really sweaty, but I do have soft feet and I don't have any odor on my feet or anything like that. But I don't use any powder because, that's not, my deal. That's not something that, causes me any issues. Like I know people that when they put their shoes, in the house, that their spouses will take them and put them in the garage because the smell, is so strong, it's so bad. But there are things you can do too with your feet. So if you end up with something like, athlete's foot, or if your feet just smell bad, there are foot soaks. You can go and get a pedicure if you don't want to, do it yourself. You can also, you know, take that good soap, scrub your feet in between your toes, under the bottom of your foot, on the top of your foot, on your heel, all of that. And then you can even use some of those salt scrubs to help, soften up your skin too, or to help, get away some of that dead, dry skin, because that also adds to the smell. So let's go to your intimate areas. You think about it, whenever there is a fold or crease or space or anything where there is skin that overlaps or touches, there is always the possibility of some bacteria getting in there, wreaking havoc and smelling like who did it and what for. And I have been in places where people will just walk by, and my sense of smell is not that great, but I've had people walk by and it literally took my life away, and I came back. It was like, what in the world was that? But a lot of people don't realize, or they can't, smell themselves. And, I found that to be odd, but then I thought about it. I was like, you know what? When I was in fourth grade, I couldn't smell myself, or I could smell myself, and it was so bad that I didn't know it was me. I just thought it was the whole world. I was like, oh, the whole world smells like this, whatever. But now, as an adult, I can tell, what type of smells in my body, has. So what you really need to do is set up like a hygiene regimen. Um, a lot of people, they have, their skincare regimen, where they have the most beautiful glowing, skin, where they start off with some type of clarifier to, clear everything off, and then they do this massage, and they use the exfoliator, and they use some type of cleanser, and then once they're done with the cleanser, then they use a toner, and then after they use a toner, they put some type of moisturizer on. Well, see, I don't do all that. I just, get some type of soap, and I'll exfoliate, every once in a while. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't do it often. I'm not consistent with that sort of thing. I never have been. That's just not, who I am. It's just not my deal. But then once I finish doing that, then good rinse, and then I put on some type of moisturizer to take care of, to keep me from having any wrinkles or anything like that. I mean, everybody always says, black don't crack, but it does. If you don't take care of it, it will. So, and sometimes, it's genetics. You might have gotten really lucky and ended up no gray hair, no wrinkles, no lines, no nothing, and you're not doing anything, or you drinking, all types of alcohol, you smoking, you doing all this different stuff, and your genes are just like, whatever, do throw your best at me. This is what you get. You're gonna get good results. But for those who don't, have that, then I understand that, you do a regimen, and you work through these things to make sure that you're getting all this dead skin off your face. But what about the rest of your body? So do you exfoliate, under your arms, and do you exfoliate in your intimate areas and your feet? Of course, like I said, in spaces where there are creases, like behind your knees, that can smell bad. And oh my goodness, if you don't clean your belly button out, don't just say, because you washed over it. No, you need to get in your belly button, because your belly button will smell like day old potatoes if you don't clean it out properly. And then, you can get cotton, you can get all kinds of stuff down in there. And then just imagine, your little belly button area getting infected just because you didn't clean it. So it's very important, that you clean those areas, and make sure that, once you've cleaned it, you dry it. So let's go back a little bit when we're talking about the exfoliation. So as you're exfoliating under, your arms, then you'll notice that sometimes your skin brightens or lightens. And that is just a sign of you're getting rid of all the dead skin. And dead skin, like I said, promotes bacteria, promotes a smell. So you should do that, in your intimate areas as well. Now, I'm not saying if you sensitive to certain things, don't, I'm not saying that'll be like saying taking sandpaper to the area. Let's not do that. I'm saying if there are gentle exfoliating scrubs that you can use. Like companies like Dove, make it, and you just squeeze it on a little puff, and the little micro crystals basically help to exfoliate, and they dissolve, at the same time. I'm not talking about that wonderful stuff you can get from say Bath and Body Works that's got, those huge salt crystals in it that I don't care what you do, you sit there and scrub all day long, and you still got salt, on you after you rinsed off. I'm not saying put that in your intimate areas. I'm saying put, something that is very gentle that will help to exfoliate those areas as well. Because, it's always been odd to me that, we don't walk around, naked. So how is it that sometimes I'm, like I don't all people aren't like this, but some people in those areas, that's the darkest part of your body. And it's like, how's that even possible? It doesn't see the sun. So there are things that you can use, that will naturally help to lighten the area. So if you use an exfoliant, or if you use some type of soap that has like turmeric in it, if you are not allergic to turmeric, that is one of the most amazing things that can help, internally, like if you eat it, it helps with inflammation, helps to reduce, inflammation. But if you use it, on your skin, if you are washing or scrubbing your body, it helps to lighten those dark spots. It helps to, gently exfoliate. So if you're doing all those different things, if you are washing your body properly, if you are exfoliating, hey, if you shave, shaving also helps to take away that extra or excess hair that's holding this moisture in, that is inviting all these horrible smells to stay close to your body. So I'm not saying go and shave your body completely bald, but I'm saying, and especially under your arms, you can shave wherever you want to shave. I'm just saying, if you do shave, you are reducing the smell like in the summertime. And I'm sure there are lots of people around that would greatly, thank you for doing that, because, who wants to be cooped up or trapped in a small space with someone or something that does not smell right? All right, so now that we've talked about, exfoliating and washing and shaving and clearing and cleaning our bodies, there's something else that we can do that helps, our body to not give off such a bad smell. And it's something really simple. Drink a lot of water. So when you drink a lot of water, you are washing all the toxins out of your body. So if you're not, urinating it out, of course, it's going to come out in the form of sweat. But if you eat clean, you exercise, and you drink a whole lot of water, your body smells different than, say, someone who eats nothing but, meat and cheese and, things that are hard to digest or take a long time to digest, that rot in your system. Those smells, come out of your body. And then one other thing that a lot of people don't think about is, having bad breath, because that too, even though you can have bad breath, year round, but some people actually have a condition called halitosis, which is, bad breath. It can come from having, say, a sour stomach. It can come from other gastrointestinal issues that aren't allowing the food or whatever you consume to pass out of your body the natural way. And it's just staying in there, and everything is staying in your gut that is rotting and dying and smelling like who did it is now coming out of your mouth. And as it's coming out of your mouth, it's probably coming out your nose too. And you're talking to people, and people are, they're trying to figure out, why can't you smell it? And it's become the norm to you now. Something that I thought was interesting is I noticed a lot more people were talking about going to the dentist after COVID. So you know why that is, right? Think about it. They were wearing a mask, the whole time. So now they're getting the experience where everybody else is experiencing the whole time. And they're like, oh my God, why didn't somebody tell me? So now here they are with this mask on, breathing in their own breath. So now they're going, they're getting decayed teeth fixed. They are getting those regular cleanings. I mean, visits to the dentist went up astronomically, after COVID. And I thought that was pretty interesting, because few people I talked to at work, they're like, oh, I haven't been to a dentist, in like 5, 6 years. And then after COVID, he was like, oh, I got a dentist appointment out of that. I was like, yeah, I wonder why. But it's I guess, you have to find out one way sooner or later, or people have been telling you and you just like, whatever, I don't believe them. But COVID really let a lot of folks know that, something wasn't right, up here. So make sure that you're seeing your dentist, that you are flossing, you are brushing, you are gargling, you scraping your tongue, you are cleaning the roof of your mouth, you are spending time with your teeth, with your mouth, because the odor in your body is bad, but it's bad when you open your mouth and people just stop talking, or people start walking away from you, or they'll cough, or they'll turn their head, they'll keep backing up. Those are all signs that there's some room for work, when it comes to your hygiene. So just be mindful, all these things. It's summertime, your body smells differently than it does in the wintertime. And your mouth smells, the same year round. But let's talk about your hair. So a lot of people, see African American women and wonder, how is it that you can wear, your hair in a fixed style for a month, 2 months, and not wash your hair? So first of all, our hair, it does make its own oil, but it's the point where if we were to wash our hair every day, we would strip our hair of that oil, and our hair wouldn't like it, couldn't stand it, and it'll probably become brittle, start falling out, that sort of thing. But at the same time, our hair is also very resilient, because it does not have, it doesn't secrete as much oil. So it doesn't have that much of a smell. Now, when you go to adding weave and like if you're sewing in or putting in clips or tracks or whatever, and you're braiding, your hair down and putting something on top of it, you're increasing the sweat. You're increasing the dead skin that's going to be under there once, you take your hair down. But you can also use sprays that will keep your scalp refreshed. You can massage your scalp with some styles. Now, you can wash your hair if you have, loose braids, single braids, but I'm talking about people who have like quick weaves. And that's where, they put on the cap and they put the glue, and then they glue the hair directly to the cap. So when you have, styles like that don't allow your hair to really breathe, to where you could actually get your fingers in to wash and to cleanse, those are the styles that you can't keep as long, because if you do keep them for a long time, you will notice that your hair will have an odor. So some things to avoid in the summertime, if you don't plan on washing your hair like you should on a regular basis. You should avoid getting quick weaves. You should avoid getting crochet hairstyles. Any hairstyle that uses synthetic hair. Or if you have like a wig and you've gotten a wig glued on, and you don't want to wash it, you don't want to do anything like that, because you're scared the glue is going to come up, the makeup they put on is going to come up, then you should just avoid that altogether, because that is going to have a horrible smell. And not only is it going to have horrible smell, imagine what it's doing to your scalp. A lot of people don't realize that you are creating a space for fungus to grow. And you've created another problem, after that, because if you get fungus in your scalp, imagine how much hair you're going to actually lose if you try, to, I don't know, you taking it out, and you can have sores on your scalp. You can have all these different things if, if you don't take care of these fixed, hairstyles. See, like I have two braids here, and I've had them, for I don't know, maybe a month now, a little over a month. And I know it's time for me, to take them down at this point, because they don't look too terribly, bad or anything like that. And everybody knows that I'm not one to just go get my hair done, every week. There was a point in my life that I did, enjoy doing that, but I'd be in the shop 3, 4 hours and no, that's not my bag now. That's not my deal. I just try to look, as presentable as I can. But when I take this down, I know that I have to let, my hair breathe some. I can't just jump back into another, fixed style, because if you don't let your scalp breathe, then you're going to have those weird smells. You're going to have, excessive itching and dandruff, and all that could have been avoided if you let your scalp breathe, if you clean, your scalp properly. So now you got your whole body working for you for this summer. Your hair and your scalp's clean, your breath is fresh, your underarms, intimate areas, and feet smell wonderful. So nobody should be able to walk up to anyone who's watching Embracing the Fight and say, "What's that smell?" They'll be walking up to you saying, what a wonderful smell. Thank you so much for taking the time out to watch Embracing the Fight. I hope you all have an absolutely amazing day.